Hey friends, Caitlin here with the Homestyle Honey. We have had so many fun things going on the farm, from planting to working on our chicken coop some more, starting to do some decor. Come with me and see all of our updates, and I'm going to show you the sweetest little girl's bedroom reveal. Spring on the farm's been busy as our potatoes grew and we hilled them, started planting tomatoes, lettuce and radishes. I moved my lavender into pots finally, planted tons of seeds, and did a little canning. Okay, so we're going to show you one of our bedrooms in our house. This is currently our daughter's room. This is the largest bedroom in the upstairs. You can see it's got both a twin and a queen size bed in here. This is just kind of where we decided to put furniture for now. Not that she needs both, but it is great if we have guests. And it's Toy Central right now. Barbie Central, we're going to put in some bookshelves, bring in a Barbie house for her that I'm fixing up. We've got this cool little dresser. You can just see, like, it's a good sized room. And then there's this wallpaper. I'll come up close so you can see it. This is actually going to get changed out, although it is in good condition. This wallpaper with the roses. Then here's one of the closets, and these doors are so nice. Like, these are nice solid wood. I love them. Excited to keep them and just freshen them up. So this closet needs a little love. It needs like a little caulking, and then the wood piece holding up the curtain rod or the clothing rod needs fixed, and then we'll rip up the carpet because it should be matching wood under here, and then eventually we'll replace the wood. But it's got that, it'll have some sticky tape on it. Great view. She's got one of the best views. And then you can see that is her room. The project to do my daughter's bedroom started on a cold, dark winter night, and it finally was completed this spring with the finishing touches put on. I chose this room because there was only one wall of wallpaper, and I never removed wallpaper before. Not knowing if this was going to be an easy task or not, I opted to start in her room. Thankfully, the wallpaper came off very easily, and my daughter even helped along the way, and she actually was a good help, believe it or not. After the wallpaper was removed, I opted to paint half the walls, keeping the top half white so we could do a wallpaper or stencil, and did the bottom half pink. First, I needed a straight line, so I started where the sloped ceiling and the walls met and used a piece of wood to get a straight line. I used the level to double check it, and this became the line where I did my halfway mark for painting pink on the bottom and leaving the top for other plans. Along the way, my mom and sister and niece joined me on this project, and we worked on the closet, and we also did some coats of white paint on one wall before we started on the pink paint. So big shout out to them. After we got the pink and the white done on the walls, I moved on to painting the trim and the doors, and then we did our stenciling. Overall, this project ended up taking about 8 weeks or so, working on it in stages and bits and pieces. And then at the end, we got to do the fun things like change out the doorknobs. Shout out to my dad for doing that because we had to take the doors off the hinges and drill new large holes, but they turned out beautiful. And we got to do a fun decorating as well. So stay tuned to the end of the video for the full reveal of the bedroom. You can see my paint still needs a lot of stirring. There's some frozen ice chunks in the paint because I left this in our breezeway, which is unheated. It's pretty much like if you left your paint in the garage, and it was down to -1 at night the last few nights here. So okay, here we go. We've got our bright, almost kind of like a strawberry pink paint, and this is going on the trim. It's going on the trim and the doors, so I'm hoping that it looks fabulous. I'm very excited about it. I just don't love the finish on the doors. It's a little orangey. If I didn't paint it pink, I'd be painting it white. It's always paint, so, or it's just paint, so it can always be changed later. And I think it's gonna look really fabulous. Perfect for a little girl, so here we go. Okay, I think this color is gonna be awesome. I love it already. I'm so glad I picked it. This one I think I said was Rosy, and it's a Sherwin-Williams brand paint, so it's an easy color to find. I love it. It's kind of got a bit of strawberry to it, and it's very pink, but I feel like without being like Pepto-Bismol-y, even without being like bubblegummy pink, but just like a good little girl pink. And I wouldn't do this for my own bedroom, obviously, but for a little girl's room, like, why the heck not? Okay, so we're on to the next step of the project. I'm kind of nervous about this part because I don't really stencil, but this is the stencil we're going to be doing so that we give this a wallpaper-like look without the cost of the wallpaper. And I've got another color of pink. It's in between the last two. So I've got like the really light pink here on the wall behind me and the darker pink on the trim. This one is in between, Playful, and it's a Sherwin-Williams color. So, and wish me luck. What I read is doing like a spray adhesive is the best. Okay, so that's sticking with the spray adhesive. I think I'm going to tape it just to make sure it stays, but from what I read, spray adhesive is the way to go, not tape alone. Okay, so I ran and got my tape. So in the 2 minutes that I ran to my garage, the stencil's still up, which is a good sign. All right, let's see how this turned out. Good, I hope. Otherwise, we're gonna be getting the sponge and wet wiping this real fast. And that looks like garbage. Okay, so that was really disappointing to have it not work. I decided I'm gonna do a practice test on a piece of cardboard. I should have just done this before. And that way I can see if the roller is working and maybe I just had too much paint or something. Otherwise, my options are I'm going to try a sponge, and if that doesn't work, I have to run into town and I will get a stenciling paintbrush. So let's see how this goes. You can already tell it's not working. It might be because this thing doesn't want to roll. I'm just not loving this. Okay, final test. I'm seeing if the sponge will work. If I end up stenciling the wall still as planned, I'm gonna have to go slow and be patient, which I am not patient. I don't know, maybe this idea is gonna get scrapped and I'm gonna have to just cough up the money to buy wallpaper. It's a little better. Not thrilled. I am not thrilled with results. That's super disappointing. Might be better with a brush. I wonder if I should just buy some frickin' wallpaper. I looked up the cost of wallpaper And just to wallpaper like the half walls in this room, which is not even the full length of the room, it's like $400. And I'm not doing it. Not doing it. It's not in the budget right now. So I was looking on YouTube and someone talked about using a makeup sponge or like the brushes. So I'm going to try this like one more time. And I don't want to get a stencil brush, but I actually realized I have a foundation brush that has never been used. I don't foresee myself needing to use it as foundation. So I'm going to use what I have, and I'm going to try this because it's nice and like densely packed. You can see it. Like it's got a nice dense pack. And it actually looks really good. All right, I'm super excited. Onward with the project. The main thing I learned from this too is I think I'm gonna have to really coat this with the spray adhesive because there's just so many like little pieces, and for those to stick down properly, that's just what I'm gonna have to do. But I'm glad that I figured that out. So get a stencil paintbrush. Don't bother doing the rolling thing. Why? Okay, so it's starting to work really well, which is exciting. You can see up above in this corner and this one. There you go, hard to do this in here. That it's looking really good. So I will be able to put up my curtain rods now when they first come. And we got a whole lot of wall left to stencil. Okay, so the paint is coming along super nice. You can see I've got this whole wall done. I started a little bit more on this wall over here in the corner. I'm getting tired of stenciling. I've also been fighting not feeling the best, so I need a little instant gratification. So now that this wall is done, I'm gonna put up the curtains and then the wall sconces here soon. So the curtains just came. They're like these cute little 2-layered baby pink. I think they match the walls really well. And like I said, I'm just ready for some instant gratification to have things start to feel good and done because this has been a very long project. So I'm going to put up some curtains. So here you go. Stenciling is finally done. Oh my gosh, that has been such a project. I chose to stencil because it saved me about $400, maybe even as much as $500 for what would have been like the lower end of wallpaper. Wallpaper is just so expensive. So to do like this top half of the wall here that I've got, going from about here up, to do that in the whole room, which isn't even all 4 walls, I had calculated it, priced it out. It was gonna be at least $400, if not more. So I stenciled. I'm super happy with how it turned out. You'll notice this wall behind me is white. It's not stenciled. I kind of thought at first I would leave the slanted part of the walls white just because I know the stenciling is going to be a lot of work. So that's what I'm doing for now. I will eventually stencil it. I think it's going to ultimately look the best. It's just so much work, and I feel like the room is at a level of completion without it that it can wait because there's so many projects. So probably in 6 months to a year, when I've had a nice long break from stenciling and gotten some of the other rooms done, I will stencil it. But now we are going to move on, do our final piece, and put up our chair rail molding. So excited for this piece. I've got my little brad nailer, and we're gonna get started with this. time to put up a shelf and start doing some fun things around here. So I'm gonna take my tape. This is, if you don't know this trick, this is like the easiest way to put something on the wall, like a shelf or a photo. You put tape on the back of it, and then you mark where the holes are in your tape, and that way there's no like guessing about where it should be, and you don't ever have like, you don't have to worry about mismeasuring. Okay, friends, we're gonna go check out our dreamy little girl's room. So first in this room, we've got this sweet little wrought iron IKEA bed. It's actually a toddler bed that expands into a twin. And these sweet little teddy bears my mom made over the years. The big one was mine, and then this little rose one was made for my daughter, and the little heart one there was another one my mom made that we found in storage. And I've got this beautiful quilt here on the end that a friend made. This sweet little quiet book, I have to show you this. This is something my grandma made a long time ago, and she made it probably for the grandkids. And there's just so much love and care that goes into this. So it has all these little activities right before fidget toys. So you braid the hair, and inside there's little there's little ladybugs to count, little flowers, a little clothesline. You tie the bow. The little pieces here have been scattered around my daughter's room, although we do still have them. There's little pockets for coloring and for crayons. Actually, here's all the little pieces. And same thing, you like snap on the shapes and play with the clock, count the beads, and then you can put the little hand in the mitten. So we have this sweet little vintage quiet book. And our little toys. We do have another bed in here with the idea either that when we have guests stay over, we can put them in here and move our daughter to another room, or if our guests have children, their child can be in this room. We'll eventually get a bed frame for this, but it frankly wasn't a priority to get right now. And it works out because our daughter loves to be able to jump on that bed. And she has probably one of the best views in the house. And then this whole room was just a nice freshly painted white, but I wanted something fun. So I added this chair rail trim all right here, painted it pink, cut the angles, and then nailed it up with a brad nailer. We have just these fun little pretty little girl curtains. And then this is actually a stencil here on the wall. I opted to do a stencil instead of wallpaper. Well, I thought about wallpaper, and I love how wallpaper looks. It's so expensive these days. So wallpaper where we stenciled was going to be $400 to $500. And that's not even for a super high-end wallpaper. It's just a very like average wallpaper. And so we opted to paint that. We've got these pretty little closet doors and little shelves. You'll see these doorknobs. We switched out from, you'll see these doorknobs. We switched out from plastic ones that were there. And these are just so much prettier and more elevated. And then more trim, and I added little pink shelves for her books. I'd love to eventually add some little scallop trim to those shelves, but didn't do that yet. And then in this corner, we have her little doll house. This was actually my Barbie house when I was a little girl that my grandpa made me. It has a little grass around the edge and even a little balcony. You can see there's even like little curtains in there. And then her Barbies. More of her pretty pink wallpaper and her little vintage dresser. And then we did the back of her door pink as well. And then the front is white to match our hallway. And you'll see it has really nice hardwood floors. I believe they're maple. There was carpet, I believe like this underneath. There was carpet, I believe like this underneath. So the carpet's been pulled up. You know, there's some spots where there was maybe some glue. Over here you can see right there, there's still some remnants of some tape. This flooring will get redone, so I didn't worry too much if we got a little bit of paint on the floor. I tried not to, but it does happen. But we'll eventually refinish these and probably stain them a lighter color, something a little less orange. But this is her little, beautiful little girl's room. It's just a gorgeous view of the hills. And here's your room. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing the before and after of my beautiful little girl's bedroom. I'd love to know in the comments what you liked best, any questions you have, or just where you're watching from, and tell me more what you would like to see in the videos that we make going forward. Don't forget to like and subscribe.